Okay, you're going to notice that this assignment that we're starting with today looks just like the homework assignment. So working with these tax tables goes along with the homework. And so please use this examples as reference in doing the homework practice. Okay, this is basically seeing if we can handle the skill of reading a tax table and calculating tax amounts from a tax table before we actually go file some taxes. Who's ready? Okay, Will is single. He's using an IRS tax form and calculates his taxable income at 51,070. So here's our 51,000 table. So we go down and find the 070. Notice it's going to be here in about the second row in between 51,051, I'm sorry, 050 and 51,100. So we're in the second row and it says that he is single. So we're going to be looking here in this single column. So following across the second row, single column, I'm seeing a taxable amount of 8540. Do you see it there? Are you going to be able to find that? Joanna is married, filing jointly. Her taxable income is 51,200. So find the 51,200. Now notice in that column it says at least 51,200, so it can be equal to that number and up to whatever. But so the fact that 51,200 is at least, it means we need to be in the bottom row of that first section, not the second to last row. So make sure you're in the bottom row, the at least 51,200. Follow it all the way over to married, filing jointly. And I'm seeing 6756. Do you see it there? Rachel is married, filing separately. Her taxable income is 51,350. Remember to pause the video and try these before you just watch the answer. For this one, I'm seeing it's the third row down of this section, at least 51,350. And married, filing separately is the third column. I'm seeing 8615. How'd you do? Tom is head of household. His taxable income is 51,325. So I'm seeing that that's here in this second row. Head of household is all the way to the end, 7129. All right. Nick and Melissa are married taxpayers filing a joint return. Their combined taxable income is 210,650, and the IRS offers a tax table so taxpayers can actually calculate their own tax. Use the tax schedule below for married taxpayers filing jointly to calculate their tax. Notice this of the amount over column. We're going to be using that today to do this correctly. So find the row where the 210,650 is, and then read over to the last column. So 210,650 is going to be in between 151 and 231. And then it says to read all the way to the right-hand side, and it says for amounts over 151,900. So our income is 210. In order to calculate this, we're going to take the 210, 650, and subtract 151. So 210, 650 minus 151. Grab your calculator and do this. And I'm getting 58,750. This is the amount over and above the 151. We need this amount to see the percentage. So now if I go back to that row, subtract the amount from that couple and the amount from the last column, that's our part A. Now calculate the percentage of that. So notice if I go all the way across, it says 29,517.50 plus 28%. You're going to multiply the percent as a decimal times your answer from the last step. So 58,750 is going to be times 28%. So take a second to grab your calculator and calculate this. Make sure you get the correct number. Okay, how'd you do? Did you get 16,450? Now take that answer and add that dollar amount under the tax is column to it. So we take this 29,550, 29,517.50 and add it to this. So take a minute and do that on your calculator. Again, 29,517.50 plus the 28% number that we got earlier. See what you get. I'm getting 45,967.50. Is that what you got? How'd you do? So this is their full tax amount. And this tax amount is able for us to be calculating it here with this column that says the tax will be this number plus the 28% of the amount over and above the 151,900 minimum. So here's our 3 steps we're going to take to calculate that. The IRS includes the tax schedule for information purposes only. For taxable incomes over $100,000, they must use the tax worksheet. Here's a portion of the worksheet for married taxpayers. Calculate Nick and Melissa's tax using the worksheet. Remember their combined taxable income is $210,000. So use, if your filing status is married filing jointly, complete the rows before. Now, if line 43 is 210,650, so looking to see where is that going to fall. So to model the schedule shown below in the tax schedule and inequality notation. So see how it says at least 100,000 but not over 151? Looks like this just is supposed to be an 18,050. Sorry about that typo. Let's fix that right there. And then we're going to say from 18,550 to 75,300. And then we're going to model this with an inequality that matches the words. At least 18,550. Go find the less than. If you're writing this on paper, no need. And then is less than or equal to the 75,300. And then keep doing that for every line here. So from 7,500 to 151, So I'm just going to copy and paste this whole at least thing in there and just change the numbers. So at least 75,300, but not over 151,900. Do you see above in the table where I'm getting this from? At least 151,900, but not over 231,450. At least 231,450, but not over 413,350. At least 431 to 350. Sorry, 413, but not over 466,950. And if you want to add in that last one, greater than or equal to 46,950. Now to match these words, we're going to go do the inequalities right here. And let's put in the correct numbers here. So this one's now going to be 75,300 to 151,900, 151,900, 231,450, up to 413,350, and technically we're basically saying from 466,950 and on, or to infinity. So another way of saying this is just that x is greater than or equal to 466,950. When it's at least, we say greater than or equal. So again, just matching the words from the table to the actual inequality. So we can see that it's between this and this, between this and this, between this and this. And I just realized at least 1850. Okay, all of these little greater than or equal to bars are on the wrong side. Okay, so this one right here should not have an equal to bar because it's in between 0 and 1850, but not equal to 0 and not equal to the 1850. So this one's good. Now this one starts with at least, so this one needs to be the equal to, and this one needs to be the less than only, and so on and so forth. Sorry if you're like erasing right now because you have these all backwards from what I originally put. The thing we had typed in here was wrong, sorry. Okay, table is finally done. And so this is what you would see as far as a worksheet goes. And for example 4, we just practiced from this schedule of what this would look like. And so model the schedule shown below. Sorry, this is the one that doesn't have a space for the work on example 3. So remember the combined taxable income is 210,650. And so calculate the tax using the worksheet. Remember the combined tax is this. And so taking this 210,650, do you see that that's going to fall right here in the second row? And if I follow that over, it says plus 28% of the amount over the 151. And so it says to enter, first it says to enter the amount from line 43. And so we're just going to make a quick insert table, and we're going to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of like the worksheet above here. And we're just going to be filling in what sections they wanted us to fill in here. So 210,650 is the income from line 43. And then I skip that 28% row column, and then I follow it over. And now I'm going to actually multiply 28% times the amount over. So we have to take the 210 and subtract the 151. So grab a calculator and do that. 210,650 minus 151, 900 is 58,750. And then if I follow that all the way across, it says subtraction amount. So I guess here what they're doing on the worksheet, we actually don't need to do this. This is having us do 28% of the 210. From the big number before subtracting, which is going to be 58,982. And then it wants us to do the subtraction amount of 13,014. And so 58,982 minus 13,014.50 gives us 45,967. And so what this is just showing you is that the worksheet that they provide to you on the tax return helps you calculate that same number we just got in the problem before. I'm going to show you how they match here in just a second. So see how this number 45,967, if I go up here, it matches this. So it's just showing you how the worksheet would go that's provided to you as a taxpayer to use to make your calculation. So here we would fill in on the third row, we'd fill in the taxable amount, and then it tells us to take 28% of that. It literally tells us right there in the directions on the worksheet. And then it tells us what to subtract, and then it gives us the answer. So this is how we would arrive at this taxable amount on our worksheet on our own tax return. Okay, sorry about skipping number 3 there. I was missing a box to do the work. So you could just squeeze it in right there in the worksheet underneath that table if possible. All right, example 4 is done because we did that first. And then finally, example 5, here's one last typo in the worksheet. We're giving you this function, and we're going to ask you these questions about it. So if a taxpayer has a taxable income of $30,000, follow along the income along the bottom and look up what is the tax. Do you see that the 30,000 income correlates to the 6,000 tax? So what we're seeing here is a table that uses income as the input and tax amount as the output. It's like an X comma Y input output of income versus tax. So in this case, for a 30,000 income, tax would be 6,000. Do you see that those are the coordinates? And so the answer to this one, the tax, is $6,000 tax. If a taxpayer owes $18,000, what is the income? So going from an output down to an input. Do you see 18,000? You follow it across and you look down at the 60,000 income. What's the approximate tax for an income of 100,000? So if 48,000 is right there at that 100,000, do you see it there at the end? So again, we go to an income of 100, and we see that it's got that output tax amount of 48,000. What is the approximate tax for an income of 80? So if this is 60 and this is 100, I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to follow it up. And I'm looking how this is going 6, 12, 18. It's going up by increments of 6,000. And to land on this line right here, it's about halfway up. So 18 plus 6 would be 24. 24 plus 6 would be 30. And it's about halfway up after that. So I'd say it's about 33,000. What do you think? Go take a peek at the table and see if you agree. I'm going up about halfway into the line or the box. All right, last. A taxpayer is paid every other week. He has $475 taken out of each paycheck. What is his approximate taxable income? And so $475 every other week. So we take the $475, and remember how there's 52 weeks in the year? So we need to multiply by half of that every other week. So times 26. Remember, this was called bi-weekly when we did this chapter. So grab your calculator and do that. 475 times 26, and that's 12,350. And that's his approximate taxable income. We had to take the bi-weekly number and multiply it by 26 times per year because they are paid bi-weekly. And then taxable income is 12,000. Sorry. 12,350 is the amount taken out. So that's the tax amount. So we're going to use that as an output. So taking this $12,350 that's been taken out of each paycheck. And again, 6,000, 18,000, right in the middle there would be about the 12,000. If I follow that across, do you see how there's a little bloop right above? So if I follow this down, here's 30,000, here's 60,000. That's right at about the 50,000 mark. If each increment here is about 10,000 each. So go see if you see what I mean from this table. You're going up to 12,000, follow it across, and you'll notice that where that line hits, it's just slightly above that 12. That's our mark. Follow it down. It's 50,000 in income. Coming from the graph. So if you needed to go back up to any part of this, feel free to go take a peek.